should we pronounce it as Amoeba or Amoeba? Depending on how you want to call it. Point is that these are unicellular organisms that are protoctists and mostly live at the bottom of water bodies like ponds. Structurally, amoeba does not have a very clear structure. Okay, it definitely has a nucleus. Okay, it does not have a cell wall, and so definitely this is its cell membrane. As we have said, this is its nucleus. We can almost already guess what this is. Like all cells, this is the cytoplasm. Now, there is a particle here that is about to feed on. Okay, this is a food particle. Now, this extension is what we call a pseudopod. Yes, the extension of its cytoplasm. So, it has other organelles like the mitochondria here, and now it has food vacuoles. Now, what are vacuoles? Those are very small. Food vacuoles are the very small vacuoles that can contain the food, which it just took in. Okay, so it feeds by engulfing. So this big cell finds a food particle and engulfs it. Now, when it engulfs it in, this part of the cell membrane fuses with this one so that they close it in. And as it is closed in, it forms what we call the food vacuole. Food vacuole. And this food vacuole is where the digestion takes place so that it gets the benefits out of it. Okay. Now, this is the structure of the amoeba. It feeds by what we call phagocytosis. Phagocytosis, which is literally cell eating, engulfing. It moves by this pseudopodia. So, when this pseudopod is formed, it pulls the rest of the cell body to this side, and more of the pseudopods are formed, assuming it is going upward, and it divides, it multiplies itself, reproduces by what we call binary fission. Fission is splitting binary into two. So this cell one day divides into two, and each of those two amoeba cells grow and then divide later. And that's how we end up with so many of them in a pond. Now, we're going to take clear interest in the locomotion. So now, this is our diagram that we're going to use to see how amoeba locomote. Remember, locomotion is movement, physical movement from one place to another. So this is one amoeba. See, initially, so the direction of movement is it's moving the other side. So I have this amoeba. They never have, by the way, a clear shape of the cell. The shape keeps changing depending on the needs of the cell at that time. So I have this particular cell. See where each of these small circles indicate the nucleus, okay? Now, I have, at this point here, I have an extension which we call the Sugarport. So, this extension is possible by two forms of cytoplasm, that is the plasmosome and plasmogel. Now, there's a part of a cytoplasm like that is like that, which I'm putting, which we are going to call away from this other normal cytoplasm, okay? Now, the part of cytoplasm that's here, that it kind of becomes harder than the usual cytoplasm, which we call plasmogel. So when it reaches this point here, it kind of hardens, or call it solidifies, so that it anchors the amoeba. So this part of the cell body now powers this other side where the false foot, the pseudopod, anchored, powers. And as we go on, another pseudopod forms where the soft cytoplasmic plasmosome hardens to form plasmogel that anchors it. And the cytoplasm again powers this side, okay? And that goes on until it reaches where it is going, as that illustration will show you. And so this amoeba is able to move from one point. So as we see here, this shows the part of the cytoplasm that has the nucleus. Here, that part of the cytoplasm is coming to this, closer to this other edge, even closer, until this point where it is close. It is at this part, okay, of the cell. And so when it is moving, the part of the cytoplasm here will harden to form a plasmogel, so that this other part of the cell continues that side. And that's what it does to locomote from one point to another in the water, maybe at the bottom of the pond. So this is our direction of movement. And so that is all about locomotion in amoeba. Next is excretion. Like we said, all living organisms, Mrs. Green, move, respire, are sensitive, grow, reproduce, excrete, and then feed. So they excrete by the help of what we call contractile vacuum. Okay, so this contractile vacuum, since they live in water, okay, there's tendency of water to enter into the cell. And as we all know, if you take in too much water, chances of survival are much less. Okay, so these organisms excrete that excessive water by formation of what we call the contractile vacuum. Okay, remember vacuoles in organelles. Now, as water enters, there is a vacuole formed. More water enters, and it enters into this vacuole. Hence, the vacuole becomes bigger and bigger until it fuses with the cell membrane. When it fuses with the cell membrane, it ruptures to pour those excess waters outside. Okay, and that goes on and on and on. That's how amoeba do respire. Otherwise, other byproducts like carbon dioxide from respiration simply diffuse out of the cell. Okay, there's no need for a nose on an amoeba to take out the carbon dioxide. And so that is it about amoeba, which belongs to class Rhizopoda, phylum Protozoa, kingdom Protoctista.